Hello and welcome to another video of me painting and talking about stuff. So today I am working on a painting of some chickadees, blue-capped chickadees, sitting on a rose bush with rose hips with pussy willows drooping down behind. And this is a commission done for a friend of mine who now lives in Washington but who was raised in Germany and was missing her home, childhood home. And these were the things that reminded her of her childhood. So here is my challenge to you. Do you know what a group of chickadees are called? Okay, put it in the comments. Before I tell you, I'll give you a clue. It has something to do with their eyes. They kind of look a little bit like robbers or bandits. That's right, it's called a banditry. Sort of a mean name for such cute little critters. They aren't stealing anything except for the bugs off your trees. And being a part of a banditry brings me to talk about my most recent blog post. It's lessons on resilience from nature, or nature's lessons on resilience, however you want to word it. It has a lot to teach us about how we can be more adaptive and thrive together like these little birds. One of the things that stands out to me a lot while I was working on making this blog post was the thought that you have to have a good reason to be resilient. And love, for me, is the best one. Love God, love others. That's where connection comes in, and living for something more than ourselves. Yeah, I know people are always talking about taking care of ourselves first, or all about, making sure that I'm taken care of. But I don't believe that's enough. It's a part of a whole. And for me, as a mother, a wife, a daughter, a friend, a citizen, fellow human, I want to be a part of something that is bigger than just me. And yeah, I'm not meaning I should neglect myself. Not at all. I think that being a part of this larger whole makes it more important that I take care of myself. That makes me stronger and a better member of whatever I'm a part of. But I'm not interested in being about me only. No thanks. I'd rather have all the challenges of belonging than to be alone. Just like these birds. I mean, they can go off on their own and say, I'm not sharing any of these bugs with you. These are all my own bugs. But that makes them vulnerable, and it doesn't give them a reason to keep going. Being a part of a community gives us a reason to be resilient. And then also being in our banditry, as these are, it gives us, a place to belong, a place of purpose. It gives us a place to find strength in each other when we fail, and comfort each other. And these are all the kinds of things I talked about in the blog. And some of the things I like to think about while I'm working on this. What do these cute little birds have to teach us besides the fact that they just brighten up our days and cheer us up? And I don't know, maybe that's enough in and of itself. So you'll notice as I'm working on this that I started off with red underneath, and then I'm putting the green over the top. Why would I do that? Why not just paint the whole thing green? Well, because the red is a complementary color, and by putting it as my base color, I put the green over the top, and that adds a sense of depth to the greens. It actually helps them to pop more. Even the parts that are covered up with the green are going to be easier seen. Not really easier seen, I'm trying to say, it's just going to add that a depth or layer. Something else that you might notice different about this painting is that it does not have thick layers of texture to it like most of my more recent works. I did paint this probably early last year, and I'm still working on really developing my own style and voice as an artist. And this was part of that discovery. period of just sort of experimenting and playing around to try to find out what works for me as an artist. So as I continue to work on this, I think maybe I might read a good quote for you back on that subject of resilience. Yeah, this is in the blog post. You can read it there too. But sometimes having things said or read more than once helps it really to stick. So on the Mayo Clinic's website, it says that resilience means being able to adapt to life's misfortunes and setbacks. It talks about being flexible, bendable. That saying, "Blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be broken." I sound like an old preacher. I think that was Chuck Smith. He used to say that a lot. But it gives a lot of, actually just at a web search, you can look it up. Mayo Clinic, Resilience. Build skills to endure hardship. It's got a lot of good things in there. And you can see that I've gleaned information from this and from my own life experiences and other sources to write my blog post. And of course, just, like I said, life experiences. And one of those life experiences is nature study. When we do nature study, it really is about more than just learning how to draw a bird or a flower, or it teaches us to be observant and to get close to getting close to what's around us builds a greater awareness of our world, and thus gives us a greater awareness of ourselves. It helps to open our eyes even more, bringing clarity, like, putting this blue right in here. It just really brings that branch out a bit more. Now, in case you're wondering why I didn't just come in full force and just, fill in all these spots with blue or green or whatever, by putting it a little at a time and layering it, it gives it a sense of movement and depth and texture. And there is nothing in the natural world that does not have that. I've not seen anything, and I try to look at branches and rocks and feathers and seashells, everything. It takes some time to really just look at it and try to figure out how many layers are you looking at just right there. There's like 20 of them just in a tree trunk or a feather. I'm not necessarily going to put that many layers into this one, but I do have some paintings that are thick with those layers that are in there. And that brings us back to ourselves as well. None of us are just simply, one color. We are, all of us, complicated beings. And I continue to see pictures of ourselves in the natural world and in, birds and branches and things. Well, in the background is the sound of my coughing toddler as he's probably waking up from his nap, so I will have to work on getting this done real soon here. So there's my touching up, just a little highlights to try to give that sense of fuzziness to the pussy willows. I love pussy willows. If you've never seen a pussy willow, you should find them. They are fun to play with. Just pick them up and put them in your hands and feel them, because they are, fuzzy. So this is almost finished. A few more minutes. If you have not yet done so, feel free, please, and like and subscribe to my channel. And hopefully, every week I will be loading new videos of my painting process. I talk about life's applications. And also, you can sign up for my newsletter at my website, www.sherrymarksart.com. See you there.